Now, tell me, what's all this commotion about?
It's the Denton and Sasquatch Show.
This place is half talk show, half weird daycare. I love it.
Reports of strong interference with radio.
Here we go.
Hello and welcome once again to the Denton and Sasquatch Show, coming to you from both California and Alabama. My name is Sasquatch, and my buddy on the other end of the mic, his name is Denton.
My name is Denton. I am Sasquatch's buddy, and I'm hoping everybody's doing well tonight.
Yes, giving you a bonus show this week. We've been doing it a lot lately, so hope you appreciate it.
Especially tonight, Sasquatch is having a sinus issue. He sounds like garbage.
Yes, I got my...
He feels probably worse than that.
I got my Barry White deep voice going on tonight.
Yeah. He didn't look Barry White.
Who, me or you? Wait, who?
No, Barry White. He didn't look Barry White to me.
Oh, I get it. Barry White wasn't very white.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a bad joke.
Yes, it was. So let's move on.
All right, let's get right. Yeah, let's get down to the National Reciprocity Act.
Reciprocity?
I hate that word.
I mean, everybody can carry everywhere. How about that?
Anywhere you can carry concealed from other states. Yes.
I like it. Yes, I agree. Let's do it.
I don't.
No, you don't. You don't like the idea of people carrying in any state.
Well, I'm a bit of a contrarian. I mean, I'm sure you figured that out. But
no, you're not.
Look here. What's going to happen? I'm not. Oh, no. You just contraried me. That was pretty cool. I like that. But in Florida, for example, you have to carry concealed. Don't let it show. Don't let it flash. Don't make a mistake. Bam. That's it.
Yeah.
In Alabama, it's not the same way. In other states, it's well, you can conceal carry. New Jersey, New York, somewhere. Done forgot. You can't carry more than 7 rounds. Okay. The thing that makes me mad about this is, why are the states involved in this? Why are the states making these silly little rules? If I get hauled into jail, and you never know when I'm going to get hauled into jail, but I get hauled into jail and a cop comes and says, I have questions for you. And I don't care what state I'm in. The cop says, I have to ask you some questions. Do I have to answer them?
You shouldn't have to unless you have a lawyer present.
Well, if I have a lawyer present, I'm not answering jack. That's his job.
Well, then that's what the lawyer's going to tell you, is don't answer anything.
Right, because of the Fifth Amendment.
Yes.
Yeah, the Fourth Amendment. They can't come barging into your house, just busting up your furniture, looking for whatever, unless there is a warrant. They can't just grab you off the street unless there is a warrant. I don't care where you're at. They can't just suspect you of something and snatch you off the street. There's got to be a warrant.
No illegal search.
You have
and
these
seizure.
rights. Exactly. So all of these other Bill of Rights amendments, they understand, except for the 10th Amendment, the 9th Amendment. There seems to be some confusion on states' rights. But individuals have individual rights, God-given. Now, what does that mean? That means that no earthly authority has the right or authority to screw with them. Because these were the rights endowed by God to man.
The Creator.
But you're right. Do what?
The Creator. Given to us by our Creator.
Yes. That's absolutely right. And so the government doesn't have any authority to mess with them, except for, it seems, the right to keep and bear arms.
Yeah.
And that's what pisses me off about this whole concept of, well, we're going to pass a law where if you're carrying in this state, you have your permit to carry in this state. Well, you can carry in that state. Well, who are you to be permitting me to do this to begin with? And in Alabama, I can have a 1911 strapped off onto my side and have 15 mags all the way around my belt, and I'm okay. But if I go up north, if it's New Jersey or wherever, I can only have 7 rounds. What's up with that?
They're definitely going to.
So I think I'm doing okay.
They're definitely going to have to, equalize it throughout all the states. You can't have a bunch of different laws going into different states. I mean, nobody's going to be able to remember 50 different laws.
Well, sure, you're going to have to.
Well,
if you want to go to,
I was going to say, depending on how this thing gets formed, if it passes, I mean, yeah, if they just kind of say, okay, well, you can, and the states can decide whatever they want, then yeah, you're going to have to learn 50 different laws, which is stupid and wrong. But or when they do it, they can say, no, we're going to have to equalize this so it's the same in every state.
And therein lies the problem. Now, let's say they're going to equalize it. Who are they? The federal government. So now the federal government tells the 50 states that they have to see the Second Amendment restriction as this. You can have 7 rounds, 2 magazines, a .380, a .45, no more than a 9mm. Now you got the federal government stepping on the 10th Amendment right, which I don't believe the states have the right to keep to restrict me from my right to keep and bear arms. But now you have the federal government stepping on the 10th Amendment and directly restricting how I can travel with weapons.
Well, I mean,
so this is a big melee.
I look at it differently, and I could be wrong in my thinking here, but the government's job, it's only 2 jobs, is to protect this nation from foreign invaders and to protect my rights. So maybe in this case that's what they're doing. They're stepping in and saying, hey, all these states that say you can only have this many mags or this many bullets or this type of gun, they're going to say, no, it's got to be equal across the board. So I see it as the federal government protecting rights.
That is what you would think, but that's not what the bill is about. The bill is about me from Alabama with my concealed carry permit, why am I buying a concealed carry permit? Why do I have to buy permission to exercise my God-given right?
Well, but that's a whole nother story.
Nevertheless, you're right. So I go traveling north. In Alabama, there's no such restrictions on magazines or anything, but I go traveling north, and all of a sudden I run into a place where it is 7 rounds. Okay, but here I am with 4 magazines and one in the weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I can carry concealed. I have a permit, but I still have to obey state laws. So that's why I don't like this. If the government wanted to do something for me, it would be getting out of the way of my rights. And the most basic right I have is to keep and bear arms, because all the rest of the rights we have are protected by the Second Amendment. Now, that is a manly topic, wouldn't you say?
Very much so.
Very much so. Now, everybody remember that. It's a manly topic, and we're going to get back to the concept of manly topics. But right now, we are going to dabble back into Alabama politics because it just will not go away.
Well, there are some new angles to it.
Did you? There's so many angles to Alabama politics?
No. There's new angles to the story.
Oh, yeah, there are.
Since we last talked about
this cat named Lee Busby. He's a retired Marine colonel who all of a sudden decided he wants to get into running for Jeff Sessions' seat. I don't know if you heard about that. Did you hear about that?
I did.
Oh, of great, because now we can talk on something we both know about, and that's Alabama politics. How did you figure that was going to happen, being you're in California? But Colonel Lee Busby decided he was going to jump into Alabama politics. He said never before he wasn't going to take money. He didn't have a way of getting into politics. He didn't think anything about it. By the way, he served with John Kelly. You know General John Kelly, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, for those who don't, Google. He decided all of a sudden at the late stages of this race that's between Judge Roy Moore and Democrat Communist Doug Jones that he was going to jump in because, well, nobody likes either one of those politicians, so he thinks that he's going to win. And as far as Roy Moore goes, he says that his serving as judge, well, what does that have to do with the Senate? Well, why would that make him a good senator?
Good question.
Now, good question. What's Lee Busby's background? Lee Busby was a colonel in the Marine Corps, and he's a small business owner. What makes him think that he has the knowledge and the background to pass legislation for the government, or for the federal government?
Well, I don't know what he thinks, but my gut reaction when I first heard about this is he is basically a plant for the liberals, just so he can take votes away from the GOP.
That's kind of what I think, because that's what'll happen. The Democrats will not vote for him. He's made it clear that he's going to go along with Trump's policies and everything, and he wonders why would Roy Moore be a good senator? Other than the fact that Roy Moore is a constitutional scholar, and he will be sitting in a seat in the Senate, and he will know what laws are good for, or in accordance with the Constitution, what statutes or bills are not good with the Constitution. Where is he going to have that kind of information?
Maybe
nothing that I've read about Lee Busby says that he is a constitutional scholar.
Maybe he has a pocket constitution.
I think you're right. Well, maybe so, but I think you're right. He's a plant. Well, he is trying to bust up the Republicans.
Yeah, and I don't have any proof of this, but I saw some people talking about it on a forum. Somebody was saying that he'd been seen with Jones at one of his I don't know, one of his talks or something like that, and that people are questioning that exact thing. Is, did they come up with this plan to split the GOP vote? And it wouldn't.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
I would not put it past the Democrats in the least to do something like that, because not only are they doing this, now they're also, I don't know if you read this, they are registering felons to be able to vote. A last-minute push to get all. Well,
felons are certainly going to hate judges.
Yes, they are. But I don't know. Did you see this? I mean, this is just something I just found. Of course, I
didn't see it. No.
Well, it's HuffPost. So just the headline: Roy Moore criticizes efforts to make sure all eligible voters can vote in Alabama. Now, is that true? Depends on how you look at it. But it's definitely misleading. Because, what it's talking about is their push to get all these felons to vote all of a sudden. And it's because their guy is losing, so they're trying to find more people that can help their guy.
They don't have much time to get this done.
Well, I mean, from what I've read here, this guy that's working on this, let me see if I can find the name of it really quick. The acronym for it is TOPS, but it's some group, and he says that he's registered over 10,000 people already. I mean,
Governor Ivey is not going to put up with that.
No, that's the thing. Trying to look. This is a big long article. I'm trying to look. In May, Governor Kay Ivey signed a new law passed by the Republican-controlled legislature defining 42 crimes, including murder, kidnapping, and rape, as felonies of moral turpitude. The clarification meant that many people who may have been told they couldn't vote in the past were now eligible. But Alabama Secretary of State John Merrill said his office didn't have to take any special action to educate people about the law, which I agree with. You don't have to. So I guess what they're saying is if your felony was not one of moral turpitude, that you are eligible to vote because of this law, which, all right, is true, but I find it kind of funny that all of a sudden they're making this big push, right before this election to get all these felons, signed up and able to vote.
I personally don't think it's going to make a hill of beans.
I thought maybe you just got so mad.
I say this because I'm just one of those isolated Alabamians. I live in kind of a bubble, but I really think that Roy Moore is going to pull this off. But what pisses me off is that this Lee Busby cat buzzes in to bust up the party.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying here.
I'm not going to forget his name.
It seems to me that this Lee Busby thing is something they've been working on behind closed doors, plus this felony thing, and it reeks of sneaky politics, which, that's what the Democrats do.
Yeah. Well, we're known for that down here. I mean, there's no doubt.
But, yeah.
Not as bad as Louisiana, but we're...
When is this election? December 12th?
I don't know.
December 12th?
December 12th. Be there or be square.
All right. Well, good. Let's get it over with because I'm sick of hearing about this.
I am too.
It seems like this story has been dragging on for months. But
it's been changed a little bit. This is going to be kind of a different voting cycle. For Republicans, you're to go to your polling stations on December 12th. If you're a Democrat, the polling stations will be open for you on December 13th.
Yes.
So don't forget that. Republicans, December 12th. Democrats, December 13th.
And everybody else,
there'll
December
be donuts
14th.
on December 13th.
Yeah, and everybody else, December 14th.
Yeah. That's right. Now, speaking of moral turpitude.
It's funny, real quick.
Matt Lauer?
It's funny that the Democrats all of a sudden are interested in morals. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Normally
they're the ones that scream for no morals.
They throw morals right out the window, but if it'll help their guy, they're definitely on board with the morals all of a sudden.
But they've been throwing their own people under the bus. I mean, Matt Lauer.
Yeah.
Congressman, what's his name? That cat that's been around longer than anybody else because Robert KKK Byrd died.
I can't think of the name.
This other crap, what's his name, from Minnesota Public Radio has been around for 20-something years. They fired him for sexual harassment.
Mm-hmm.
All these people, and most of them are Democrats. All of them are Democrats except for Roy Moore. Roy Moore is the one that they can't pin anything on them, but they're making it sound like they can. And we've covered this in our previous podcast, how it's a bunch of bullcrap. But apparently, what's this, Al Franken? But they're throwing, what is that cat's name, the black guy?
Oh, Conyer?
Conyer, yeah. The Black Caucus got together and says, hey, we are you considering stepping down? No. Well, that's it. He's not stepping down. What? How does that work? You've paid people off to shut them up. It's obvious. And you say, would you, rather than doing the right thing, do you want to stay at work? Yes, I'm staying here. And then Al Franken, he is stone cold busted. Well, I feel embarrassed. I feel ashamed. I'm going back to work.
Well, yeah,
really?
He admitted it. So, I mean, once you admit it, you have no leg to stand on and you need to step down. And that's part of my problem with this whole thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love watching these liberals squirm. But my problem with this whole thing is people are getting thrown out of seats or losing jobs and stuff over accusations, not over any proof, over accusations. And to me, that's wrong, because it's always been in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. But the thing about it is, on the private sector, they're, okay, you're making us look bad, you're gone. In the government, you're making us look bad. Oh, come on, let's go to work. Unless you're Roy Moore, then you shouldn't even try to be one of us. But it seems to me that, and the reason why it seems a little bit suspicious is that the Democrats never throw their own people under the bus. That's usually left for the Republicans to do.
Yeah.
But the Democrats circle, they circle the wagons around their own. If a Democrat's sick or wounded, all the other Democrats will protect them. But these guys, they're just killing them. Now, down through the last however long, you can't be white, male toxicity, all this crap. And now this, you sexually harass. Let me make it perfectly clear. I am not in favor of sexually harassing a woman or anybody else. But does it seem to you that there's something afoot here?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, a few months ago, everybody was a racist. You were a white nationalist. You were a Nazi. That didn't work out so well for him. So now let's throw all the sexual assaulters under the bus. That's the new buzzword. My question is, what's the next thing going to be?
Well, right now, I'm thinking that they are trying to make it to where, look, I'm 53. I'm a few years older than you, and I'm glad, because I like my little world. I'm a chauvinist. Everybody knows I'm a chauvinist. Okay, I call all the women at work dear and honey. It's not sexual. It's just me. That, and it makes it easier to remember everybody's names. You're either dear or honey. And tomorrow you may be honey and dear.
Well, the way things are going,
all the guys at work are bud.
The way things are going, you're going to have to start calling all the women you. Like, hey, you.
You mean like sheep? Oh, that'll make the Muslims real happy.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm horrible with names, so when I can't remember somebody's name, I'll do the same thing. I'll say, yes, dear, or hey, you.
Yeah, or bud. But if you're 20 years old, okay, let's say you're 20 years old, starting out, you got a job, you're still not fulfilled because you need a mate. Now, who in the world says, you're the one, you're perfect for me, and she says, hey, you're perfect for me, and you get married and live forever after? Okay, no, it doesn't work that way. Okay, it's hit and miss. And the thing about it is us guys are hitting, and the girls are missing the ones they don't want, and they're picking the ones they do. Okay, so the best we can do is do the best we can. But how do you do that nowadays? If you ogle, what's the word? Ogle,
I believe.
If you ogle a woman, that's sexually harassing her now. Well, what are you supposed to do? My gosh, don't touch her. Don't pat her on the back. My goodness, that's sexual assault. This whole thing is making me think that the system, the elite, whoever it is that's controlling everything, the universities probably, are wanting to make it to where we cannot connect to the other sex as we should. Male connect to the female just bat us down until they finally want, and we continue different females until one says, yeah, you're not Mr. Right, but you'll do. Come on. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it's kind of been that way for a long time.
Yeah, but now you don't know. Some of these people, like Roy Moore, I'm convinced, because of all the bull crap that's been thrown at them, that's all a bunch of bull crap. So unless you're a guy that's lived in, I don't know, like Ted Kaczynski in his cabin in the woods and nobody's ever seen him, you can't make a move in public without them being able to say sexual harassment. So if you're thinking about making a career, going into politics, whatever, if you've been out and about in the world, somebody will say, I know him. Well, hell, you can't. If you went to high school, by golly, anybody apparently can attack you then. This whole thing reeks to me. And the reason why it reeks is because the Democrats are eating their own.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm thinking it's bigger than politics.
Yeah, I mean, it reeks to me too. But I mean, you really got to look. Like I said, a lot of these are just accusations, which is wrong in itself. But if a guy, if you're at work or even just out somewhere, you can't just walk up to a girl and pinch her ass or put your hands on her or whatever. I mean that. Well,
you can, but now you're probably going to get slugged.
Well, yeah, you would think, but I would define that as a type of assault when you put your hands on somebody, But just normal sort of courting, talking to someone or inviting them to dinner or something like that. Yeah, that's carrying it a little bit too far.
Inviting her to dinner is too far?
No. Saying that's assault by just inviting a woman to dinner is too far.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking that may have been my problem down through the years. I would invite them to dinner. Let's go to McDonald's. Dutch.
Wow.
I got turned down so many times it wasn't funny.
You're smooth.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
No, I question the same thing though. I don't know exactly what's going on, and in my mind, it's one of two things: either the, I'll use Russia's word, the feminazis are going crazy and trying to, push this thing, or the Democrats are throwing their own under the bus, but for a greater good to them, which is they're going to go after Trump with the same thing. They have been talking about that and saying dozens of women have made allegations against Trump. Yep. Well, and like I said, I go back.
Well,
to
I didn't
it again.
know about that.
I'll go back to it again. Allegations. So if any of them want to prove Trump did something, that's fine. You prove he did it, then we can talk about Trump being impeached or whatever the process is. But until you prove anything,
I'm gonna impeach him.
They're just allegations.
He woke up this morning. I'm gonna impeach him.
Are you channeling your inner Maxine Waters?
Exactly. She's an idiot.
Hey, speaking of that,
I wish we could have her on this show.
I saw an article today that said the best Maxine Water lines of 2017, and I'm thinking there's got to be a short list because there are none.
Yeah, she gonna impeach him.
Hey,
well, anyway,
leave James.
We need
Brown
to keep this
alone.
kind of short tonight. How? Jump back, kiss myself. How?
Well, did you get everything off your chest you wanted to for the most part?
Yeah, pretty much. I could ramble all night long. I get on a roll and I get kind of pissed off. But no, let's not do that because you're not feeling good. And I just got home and, these people probably saying, why are these people talking to me? Because you clicked on us. That's why. And we hope that you like it. And if you do like it, please go to prepperforums.net and tell us you liked it. Or if you don't want to go to prepperforums.net, if you're just a strictly gun guy, go to taurusarmed.net. That's taurusarmed.net. And if you don't want to go to any message boards, what are you, coward? Go there and just express yourself. But if you just want to make it private, go to Denton and SassShow@gmail.com, and you can send Sass all the hate mail you want because I don't even have the password there. Only Sass gets to read it.
Yeah, let me add to that, too. If you're on iTunes listening to us or any platform you're listening to us, please give us a review also. It will help us sort of get out there more so we get more people listening, which is, our goal. So if there's an area where you can give a review, please do that. And I hope I don't have to say it, but a positive review would be even better. But
just any review. Love us some way.
If we got all that out of the way, I got a story for us to go out on.
Let's go.
It's death in the news. 72-year-old Slobodan Prozlak, a Bosnian-Croatian war criminal, killed himself with poison during his war crimes trial at The Hague. It's not clear how he got the poison, but he somehow managed to get it in the room for a dramatic suicide. Pradeljek shouted, "I am not a war criminal," and slurped down the dark liquid from a small bottle in just seconds after he lost his appeal against a 20-year prison sentence. His actual quote is, "I just drank poison. I am not a war criminal. I oppose this conviction." Pradeljek is one of 6 Croatian politicians sent to jail for their role in the campaign to drive Muslims out of would-be Bosnia-Croatia mini-state in Bosnia in the early 90s. After he took the poison, ambulance crews and helicopters arrived at the scene, but he died a couple hours later in the hospital.
You gotta love somebody who is committed.
He's definitely committed. And what a way to go out, man. These guys, they know how to go out.
Now, here's a funny thing about that. He was in a theater before they drafted him to be a general.
Mm-hmm.
So he was big time in the theater. So when he did that, his audience, if you will, thought it was just an act. They thought he was just being overly dramatic. They didn't realize that he was killing himself until they said, "Hey, Georgie, slow bit on, it's not moving." It looks like it's real this time.
Yeah, I heard the audio.
I'm not making fun of his. Huh?
No, I was gonna say I heard the audio on the radio, and it's they moved on to the next guy, and we're gonna work on that until an interpreter said, "He just drank poison."
I'm not trying to make fun of his death or anything, but I mean that's some damn good acting. When you're killing yourself, they still think you're acting. Wow. Okay, well that is a very positive note to go out on.
Yes, it is. I think if I ever get taken in for war crimes, I'm going to go out this exact same way. And
I'm just going to go out and insult people.
At the rate we're going now, we may be taken in for war crimes just for doing this show.
I don't care. Look, they're going to have to deal with my whiny ass, and if there's no coffee there, trust me, they're going to put a bullet in my head. Anyway, that's just my whine. So, at this juncture, I am very certain that we are doomed. So what do you think we ought to do?
Drink up, but not poison.
Exactly. Good night.